just setting up my ground wire ready because the original post the original terminal was just completely trashed. So I'm just going to go ahead and put one of these little 2 gaugers and then attach 2 new posts, and that should be good. But for starters, let's finish up that steering column. So there's going to be obviously some sweating and some melting and some whatnot. The usual from me, you know. It's nothing new. You guys are pretty much used to that. What I'm basically doing right now, I'm just kind of getting some of the things I need back in place. Alrighty. Boy, we got this all from CJ Pony. And we'll tell you a story on that later and why I say it the way I say it. But we're not going into those details right now because it's a good day and I don't want to ruin it. Anyways, I took off the steering column to remove the shifting bowl because of this reason. As you guys can see right here, it's been elongated. Ooh, and it had a lot of play. I went on to Tom's Bronco Parts and I found me the gasket that I need. But for the time being, I don't necessarily need to have this off or need to take this off again in order to replace that little grommet and gasket that goes in here. It kind of fills the pleural space that's needed in between, in the back of it and the front. So it just doesn't do this too much. It'll just keep it nice and stiff. But on the new shifting bowl, which I already have up here, and it already chipped. Great. It's pretty tight and snug in here, so I'm going to stick it in there for right now. Yeah, and put the pin in and then wait for the grommet to get in, and once that does, you know, we'll go ahead and just remove the pin, take off the shifter, slide in the new grommet, push it back in place. At least this way my buddy can go ahead and get some good times in it, get this dirt bikes and use it as an everyday driver. That's what I'm trying to do to it right now. So basically I'm just trying to get all my screws together here so I can finish it off, get it nice and right, which I seem to have. I'm only missing a lock ring, and it should pop up any minute now. Let's see. Let me see if I didn't throw it in here. There it is. Good. Here it is. And that's the lock ring. That's perfect. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use these little set of lock pliers, lock ring pliers. And that guy just kind of goes in the back of it. Maybe I should put a little hammer to it. Just a little bolt. We'll see right now. Alright, now in order to do this, a lot of time, well, all the time, you have to remove the turning cam, the turn signal cam, which is this right here. 3 bolts inside of it, which are 1, 2, 3. I think there's 4 actually. Yeah, 4 on the top, and it comes off. Unfortunately, when either you're replacing this or doing what I just did, you have to kind of finagle the wiring through, cut it, and then remend it, which I have already done. Now it's a pretty tight space, so to give me a little bit of help in there, I'm just going to use some WD-40 because it's not really going to ruin anything. I'm going to put a rag at the bottom so it catches, it doesn't fall on the rug, and because it's brand new rug, it smells like brand new car in here. The seat's brand new, so we're just trying to do this as clean as possible, get this bad boy back on the road, and let the owner dirty it up himself. Now on the shifting bowl, there's like a little spring washer in here. I got it set up in there. It's right in there, and it mounts to the back of this plate. So it's easier to put it on this, slide it in place, because if not, it dances and then it gets caught in the opening in between the shaft and the steering column, and then you end up bending it and then end up steering really weird. The reason I'm pushing the WD-40 is because I guess these are all just you know, mended together and stuff, and obviously they won't break. They got the heat shrink on it, and I'm trying to just make it easier for me to get this down there. One of the other things we're going to do right now, we're going to install the retaining screws, which are kind of tricky because they sit like so. They sit like this. So we have to install this guy in first, get the screws in place, and then we go from there. So it's going to be a little bit of a tussle. So bear with me, guys. Big fingers, small places. There's a way where it sits. Obviously the shaft is right here, or the shifting column is right here. So this groove right here lines up on the inside. Again, you see that spring washer? Tends to pop out. Make sure you shove that thing back in there. You can put a little bit of grease on it. Make sure it holds and retains its place. It'll work out just as well too. The tricky part is the screws. That's the real tricky part. I'm gonna actually have to do the make sure you kind of flatten these out. Hold on. Let me get some grease. Yep, we're gonna have to get the grease. Alright. So what I did, there's a little sliver right here underneath the column that looks like it was pinched or bent or something, and I thought that it wasn't, you know, it didn't go through here, like none of this went through here, but I guess it do. They do go through here. The wires kind of have to come through this little bend. It's like a pre-cut right here. They have to come in here because it gets real thin right here at the top, and I don't want to have to cut them with the bottom of the bowl. So what I'm going to do, I'm redo them real quick. So I'm just going to peel away at them real easy. Right here at the wire meet, where I know it's a wire, and then open it up and redo them one by one, because this is what has to be done. Just a quick heat. All right, that's one. Got more to go. I'm just gonna keep the digital abuse to a minimum, boys and girls, if they're watching, which I doubt. Now, I'm not too worried about these being bare and making a spark or anything. I have no battery power. I disconnected it because I'm replacing the negative terminal, so I got no power in it, and it makes it easy for me to do this right now. There it is. A piece of heat shrink. Now when I do this and I twist them around, I go in the opposite direction. I kind of try to put them in the middle and turn in the opposite direction as I pull out to kind of give it a nice tense little tug there. And you know, just for the most part, I know that if I go to pull it from down there, it ain't gonna come apart with the small effort or the small pull that I give it. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna be able to tow a car with it, but you know, at least you know that it won't come apart as you try to get it to fish through again. That's our cop buddy with his Hellcat or Demon or Charger or whatever it is. Cool dude. And voila, another one done. Let's continue. The day she came by, he was with his wife. It's really funny. He wanted to see if I could help him install his headers. And then I waited for him, and the next day he just said, I got really inspired over the night after I saw your car, and he did it himself. So less work for me, but that's cool. Damn it, no nails. I know I put a little cut in here, but I know nails can't get it. There it is. There we go. And let's finagle this through. I may have to pop a little bit more on the metal just so it doesn't completely pinch him or scar him up. I should do that right now that I got it here. Alright, that's better. And then move fast so I don't burn them, and that's good. So now we got that in. Let's see how this goes. Now, let's see if we can get him to move through peacefully. We'll figure out. This is the tricky part here, guys. I would try and do this. The good thing is that I got some WD-40 down there, and it's really helping out with the adjustment of this. Oh, see, oh, got some grease for this guy too. Try not to. I'm just getting a light little tug. Man, I'm hoping that. Oh, buddy. Where are you? This guy right here. There we go. Got him out the way. Get that one in. Looks like that washer's on there, right? Yep. Okay, there it is. I still gotta make sure I can get the cable down there real quick. And then just undo this from down here. So I did it all wrong. It's just, it should have gone over, not under. So it's just, I had it right the first time. I don't know why I doubted myself. So this thing's jamming up. Okay. after a kid or something. He's bound to. I should have just stuck to the outside, but what I should have done is just done it to the top. There we go. So when you go buy this stuff, this guy right here new, they send you the cam with the wires all the way down there. So you clip them down there and you just fish it through again. I did it wrong. Go figure, right? Pieces ready again. Maybe one short. Hey, heat shrink people, you see which one always gets used? Why don't you put more of those? I'm just saying, man. Like, look, for 15 bucks, you could just make it all of these. Seriously, we don't even really use those. That's what we have black tape for. I mean, I understand these little guys right here, but who the hell is working on something that small anyways? 90% of cars, actually, matter of fact, all of cars have this kind of wiring, this kind of size. Just food for thought, guys. More left. No, I'm ran out. Damn it. There's gotta be one in here. Let's hope. Nope. Alright, well, we're gonna have to go ahead and hunt for some, or we can use some tape, I guess. Nothing in there. Alright. We ran out of little heat shrink, so we're just going to go with the good old fashioned 3M tape, just as Mr. Big Ed requested. And that should be good. It's a little thick, but I'm pretty sure it'll go through. I mean, did before. Now I'm gonna set this guy up. Let me get some grease in this bearing real quick. This is the bearing for the steering wheel. It just sits in here, keeps it afloat, and this guy sits in here. All right, let me get some grease in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm installing this collar right here, and this is for the cam, for the turning cam. Now this is kind of tricky. The screws for it come from the back to the front, and if you could look in here, there's like a little tab with a hole in it, which is in the inside of the column. That's where the little screw head, which is that square right there, it kind of sits in, and it'll catch so it doesn't do a full turn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them on the collar and finagle them, just kind of like get it a couple turns in, just probably a turn in, and leave it loose so I can move it around, so I can pinch them so they can open up, so I can slide it in, then drop them, and they'll probably, hopefully they'll drop right in place. I know in the back of this collar there's grooves where it sits in, so we're going to go ahead and install the one right here, like so, and which kind of comes out the front like that, as you can see. I'm going to put the retaining nut, put this nut on it. Down there. So I got about, alright. So I'm pushing back in there. So I know that the bottom one, he's already kind of in a position where, there we go. And there it is. Man, looks like it sat down pretty neatly. Kick this up right there, and that's your bearing in position. And I think, oh no, see how I pushed out? Let's try this again. This one should have stayed. There we go. Both of them are in place, it looks like. And I want to see if I could turn it a little bit. Real slowly. It looks like it's coming up. Let me see if I could do this one by hand. Yep, looks like it's coming into place. Feels like it caught in there. See, make sure push that in there, right? Perfect. All right, I got some bite. Let me see in the top here. Looks like it's great. And I'm just gonna snug it. You feed it in there, he does catch. Perfect. Now I'm looking here, and in here I could see that I got the hole ready for the shifter, which is the bottom of this guy, which will go in there like that. And I gotta go get the pin. But first, I'm gonna install the turning cam. Now the turning cam's got a little hole in here. This is where the lever goes. This is all in place. We got a steering shaft in place. We're gonna bring it right around here, in through here, and then we're at the same time as I push these cables, I'm gonna pull them from right down here, so I don't tear what I kind of already installed. So it's gonna go in. I would just, there it is. You get that little pull. I think that we're there. And then I took out the tape that was wrapped down here, so I'm going to go ahead and rewrap it, but I just did that so I can individually give them a tug, make sure that they're not binding up on the inside of the column, because some were longer than others. So, and then at the same time, if one may have came loose, I will find out right now which will suck. That feels good. We have 4 retaining screws for that, 4 Phillips heads, which are right here. We can go ahead and install those now. I'm just going to get it in there so I can align the rest and then button them down. Bring the cam down. Bit. I don't want to crank down on them just yet. I'm going to make sure they all kind of line up. Now that I know that one's in, just a little. Remember guys, this is a little piece of plastic with a little thin piece of metal. We don't need Hercules strength on this, man. Just a nice little wrister. There it is. And bam. Now we're going to add our snap ring. This retains the bearing in position at the shaft. So I pull on the shaft a little bit. It's going to sound dirty, but hold the shaft, push in your snap ring. Boom. And there you go. It's just the turning cam, the turn signal lever. Oh, no. Gotta get some pliers for that. Got this guy. So I put a little bit of dielectric grease in the back of the steering wheel, which is right there at that contact point, because that's where the steering wheel is eventually going to go, which makes contact right here on this little piece right there. Let's see. That looks pretty straight to me, but I guess we'll find out once we start to drive it, and once it settles in. We also got to give it a little bit of a minor, you know. Oh, I see some separation here. I don't think that it's quite all the way in yet. Let's put some juice in there. See if we can get the slide in better. Seems like it to be right here. And there you go. Now we get to touch it up. And that's how it is. So before what it was doing, it would rotate. It would rotate that way and this way. So making it really weird to throw in the gears. So now I won't do that. Now we can install the steering wheel. And then very well, very well. Okay. He's probably gonna need to go get a new, but for right now, yeah, there we go. On there, right? I'm gonna tape these guys up, but I gotta go find some screws for my horn here. I don't have any screws. Thomas Bronco Parts didn't send me screws. That's all I need. That, and I need to just see how that goes. Connected, and then well, feels good. Our shifter's not. That's first gear because it's a 3 on the tree. Neutral. Second. Third. Reverse. Perfect. Back to neutral.